In this video, we will go over creating local tariffs in MoveHQ. The name local tariff is a little deceiving because this feature also allows you to create intrastate tariffs. To access the local tariff setup area from your blue navigation bar, you're going to click All and then select Tariffs. Be sure not to select Tariff Manager. From your local tariff list, you're going to add local tariff. Here is where you're going to name your tariff. So I'm going to name this video tariff for the video. You need to identify the state. I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm going to put WI. The agent owner, you can change this if you are creating a tariff for one of your branches. The status needs to be active. And the next two fields allow you to control when this tariff appears in an estimate. So as you can see what your options are, you can click All, and each tariff will appear in all business lines and commodities, or you can select individual items or multiple items in each business line or commodity. Once you have completed this, you will click Save. You can now see the new tariff that you just created. From the right-hand menu, we now create the tariff sections for your new tariff. Tariff sections are used to group services into a simple format. This allows you to organize your tariff and create the sort order on how you want each block of service to appear on the estimate. For an example, you could create a section called Transportation. Then when we would get to the part where we would create the tariff services, such as an example would be moving labor, you can add that tariff section called Transportation. You could then add another tariff service called Travel Fee, which could also be added to the tariff section called Transportation. When MoveHQ displays the estimate, Transportation will be the header of the section or the block, and the transportation services, such as moving labor and travel fee, will be sub-accounts under Transportation. The estimate shows the charge for each tariff service and a total for each tariff section, such as Transportation. So we're going to create some tariff sections within our video tariff and then apply tariff services to them. To create a tariff section, you're going to give it a name. So I'm going to make the first one Transportation. It is linking to my video tariff. Again, my agent owner will pre-fill. If I want to allow a user or salesperson to discount within this section, I would need to check this box. And now I'm going to indicate the order that I would like this to display. This one I'm going to put as order 1, or my sort order as 1, and then I'm going to save. So I'm going to add a couple other tariff sections here. Another one might be packing. And I'm going to put this in a sort order of 2. Another tariff section perhaps could be storage. I would like this one at 3. Again, you're going to create the order and the names that you would like for your tariff. Another option might be valuation. I'm going to sort that as 4. And I'm just going to create one more under miscellaneous, and that sort order is going to be 5. So you are going to create all the sections you can think of, but keep in mind you can always have the ability to come back and add or edit later. The next step in creating a tariff is to create an effective date. To create your effective date, on the right-hand toolbar here, we're going to select effective dates. From here, we're going to add effective date, and we're going to select the beginning date that we want this tariff to be in effect. So I'm going to put this as of September 1st. It's syncing to my tariff that I've created and my agent. Once that is done, I'm going to save. And now I have created a tariff name, a tariff section, and the effective date. So the effective date, the system is going to look at the load date of a customer's opportunity and order and use that effective date to apply the tariff services to that estimate. Now that we've saved this information, now we need to create the tariff services, which will be tied to the different sections and effective date. After you have saved your effective date, you will notice that you have the ability to select tariff services on your right-hand menu. So we're going to select tariff services. Now, as you begin to create your tariff services, keep in mind that the name of the tariff service will appear on the estimate. You also need to add the tariff services in the order that you want them to appear within your tariff section or block. For example, if you want moving labor to be listed above travel fee, you must create the moving labor first. Our suggestion is that you write out your tariff services in the order and how you want them to list in the system before you begin creating them in MoveHQ. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to add tariff service. So in this video, I will name the tariff service the same as the rate type. As you create your own tariff services, you will label each tariff service with the name as you want it to appear on the estimate. Again, for this video, I'm going to name the tariff service the same as the rate type. So my first rate type that I have is base plus transportation. From here, I'm going to select my tariff section that I want that to apply to. So I'm going to hit my magnifying glass. I'm going to hit transportation. My rate type, is base plus transportation. Applicability will always be all locations. If you want the user or salesperson, if you want to make this service type a required field, you're going to select is required. If this is selected, the user or salesperson is not going to be able to complete the estimate until this service is applied. If you do want them to have the ability to discount this particular tariff service, you would select discountable. So the assign to module, assign to record, and items code are all going to be in future enhancements and should be left blank for now. The agent owner and assign to will populate and you can change it if you need it. Again, for this video, I did name my tariff service the same as my rate type, and as you create your own tariff services, you will label your tariff service how you want it to appear on your estimate. So base plus transportation, this allows you to set a mileage range along with a weight range, have a base amount, and also include what the additional would be per 100 pounds. As an example, we can have from 1 mile to 500 miles with a weight of 1 to 1,000. I have a base rate of 500, and it's going to be $10 per 100 pounds after. So you would just continue to create a line for each mileage range and weight range. When you're completed, you would hit save. The next tariff service we are going to add is called breakpoint transportation. Again, I'm going to select my tariff section, my rate type. It's going to apply for all locations. So this gives me the ability to place in mile and weight ranges, and you can set a charge per 100 pounds as a base rate. Remember that the base rate is per 100 pounds and not per pound. You then need to set a breakpoint, and a breakpoint means that once the weight meets or exceeds that weight, but is still within the weight range for this line, it is cheaper to charge the minimum weight for the next line and charge the lower base rate. You'll need to create a line for each mile range and weight range. So you could put in 1 mile to 500 with a weight of 1 to 1,000, but my break point is going to be 750, and my base rate per 100 pounds is going to be $25. Again, you will need to create a line for each mile range and weight range. Once this is complete, you will hit save. The next tariff service we are going to create is called weight, mileage, transportation. I'm going to select my section that I would want it to apply to. It's going to be for all locations. So this is based on the mile and the weight range. You can set a per 100 pounds as a base rate. And again, remember the base rate is per 100 pounds and not per pound, and you'll need to create a line for each mile range and weight range. When you've got this completed, you're going to hit save. Next tariff service we are going to add is the bulky list. I'm going to select my tariff section. I'm going to put this in miscellaneous. Again, you can put it wherever you have selected. We want it to apply for all locations. So within the bulky list, you have the ability to set a weight additive and or a rate for each bulky item in the list. The weight additive and rate is on a per item basis. Once you have entered all your information, you will hit save. The next tariff service we will create is charge per $100 for valuation. I'm going to select my tariff section, so perhaps this would be in valuation. It is going to apply for all locations. So this rate type allows you to set your rates when you offer full replacement value protection. If you also offer released valuation, you can select this at no cost. You can select this box and indicate the released value amount, such as 30 cents, 60 cents, whatever applies. The multiplier you are going to leave blank. Then you can add a line for each deductible that you offer and enter the rate per $100 of declared value for each deductible amount. So as an example, if I have 0 deductible, my rate's going to be $10. I can also add, if I've got a $250 deductible, my rate's going to be $5. Again, this rate is based on the per $100 declared value based on the deductible. So after you complete your table, again, you're going to hit save. The next tariff service we are going to add is called county charge. You can select a tariff section where you would want that to apply, and it's going to apply for all locations. Your counties are going to populate based on your state that you indicated within when you were creating your tariff. So this allows you to set a flat charge based on the county, such as a service fee for a particular county. Once you've gone through all that and entered your items, you're simply going to hit save, and we'll move on to the next tariff service. So from here we're going to be adding the next one, which is creating items. I'm going to select my section, so perhaps this might be in packing. It's going to apply for all locations. So the inches added, so what this does is this allows you to automatically adjust the size of the crate to allow for the padding used within making a crate. For an example, if you put a value of 2 inches in my inches added, then if a salesperson says that the item that needs to be crated is 10 inches long, the cost of the crate will be based on 12 inches. Now this is true for all dimensions, length, width, and height. So your minimum crate cube allows you to set a minimum charge for a single crate based on a cubic foot. Your crating rate is a rate per cubic foot to crate an item. So remember, this is per cubic foot and not per cubic inch. The salesperson will enter the dimensions of the item to be crated in inches, and the software will convert this to cubic feet when calculating the cost. The uncrating rate is the rate per cubic foot to uncrate the item. Again, remembering it's based on per cubic foot and not per cubic inch. Once you're complete, you're going to save. The next tariff service we are going to create is called flat charge. We're going to apply or select our section. It's going to apply for all locations. So you can have a flat charge for a specific service. For an example, if you have an additional $100 to move a piano, you might name this piano fee and enter the charge in the field. And then within the estimate, you have an option to include or exclude this from the charge. So you can decide from there. After you're complete and have that listed, you're going to hit save. The next tariff service that applies here is called hourly average pound man in per hour. Currently that is not available, and that is going to be in a future enhancement. So we're going to go to the next one, which is called hourly set. We're going to apply our tariff section, and it's going to apply for all locations. So the hourly set rate type allows you to build a table of the rate per hour for your local moving charges. You will need to create a new line for each combination of men and vans. If you always charge the same rate for each man and van, you then only need to add one line with one man and one van. You would need to select has van, and it will create a column for you to enter the rate for your van. Then Move HQ will use the additional man rate and the additional van rate fields to calculate additional combinations. If you have travel time, you will select the travel time box, and within the estimate there will be a field where you can enter the number of hours you wish to charge for the travel time, and Move HQ will use the rate to calculate the travel time. Once you've completed either creating your table or selecting your hourly set, you will simply save. The next tariff service that we're going to create is called hourly simple. You're going to select your section. It's going to apply for all locations. So this allows you to set a rate for each hour no matter how many men or how many vans. Once you've completed, you're going to hit save. The next tariff service we are going to add is called backpacking items. I'm going to select my section. I'm going to put it under packing. It's going to apply for all locations. So based on the default packing list, if you charge per carton for the cost of containers, packing, and unpacking, you could check the appropriate box and set your rates here. If you need to charge for sales tax, you can enter the percentage here. Once you've completed your complete pack list, you're going to hit save. The next tariff service we are going to create is per cubic foot per day. You're going to apply your tariff sections. This possibly could be used in storage. All locations. And this allows you to set a rate per cubic foot per day. Again, this is normally used in storage, but it can apply anywhere. Once you've completed that service, you're going to hit save. Next tariff service we're going to enter is per cubic foot per month. Again, this might be something that applies in storage, but you can apply it anywhere. It's going to apply for all locations, and again, you're going to set a cubic foot per month. Once you've selected that, you're going to save. Next tariff service we're going to create is simply per 100 pounds. You're going to select your section, possibly transportation, storage, wherever it's going to apply. All locations. And this allows you to set a rate per 100 pounds for a specific tariff service. Once that's complete, you're going to hit save. Next one we're going to enter is per 100 pounds per day. Again, this might be something that is used in the storage section, but you can apply anywhere. Oops. All locations, and you're going to set up, this allows you to set per 100 pounds per day. Once that's selected, you're going to hit save. The next one we're going to add is going to be per 100 pounds per month. Again, possibly in storage or wherever you want it to apply. It's going to apply for all locations. And again, you're going to apply a per rate that is, or per 100 pounds that is going to be charged per month. Once you're completed with that, you're simply going to hit save. The next tariff service we are going to add is per quantity. Selecting our tariff section. It's going to apply for all locations. So this allows you to set a rate for a service where there could be more than one item. Within the estimate, you would enter the quantity, and MoveHQ will calculate the charge based on the rate times the quantity. An example would be 2 or 3 of a certain item, whether you have a flat rate for a gun safe or whatever. This would be on a per quantity basis. Once you're completed, you're going to save. The next tariff service that is available is per quantity per day. Again, you're going to select your tariff section. It's going to apply for all. And again, you're going to set a per quantity that would apply per day. Normally it can be used in storage, but it can be used anywhere. Once that's completed, you're going to save. Next tariff service is going to be per quantity per month. Selecting your section. Again, it could apply in storage. You're going to decide. It's going to apply for all locations. And again, you're going to apply your per quantity per month. Once that's completed, you are going to hit save. Again, keep in mind for this video, I am using the same, I'm going to use this tariff service name I'm putting in here same as the tariff rate. So you're going to create your own tariff service names and you'll label them with the name on how you want them to appear on the estimate. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so the next tariff service is called tabled valuation. I would select my tariff section, put this under valuation. It's going to apply for all. So this rate allows you to set your charges based, when you offer full replacement value protection, based on a flat rate and not per $100 declared. So if you also offer release valuation, you can select this box and indicate the amount. If it's 30 cents, 60 cents, whatever, you're going to indicate that there. And then you're going to leave the multiplier blank. From here, you're going to select Edit Valuation Amounts. In this table, you're going to enter the maximum dollar amount for each line item. So we're going to put in $10,000. I'm going to come to Edit My Valuation Deductibles. So for my $10,000, I have a deductible of $250 and I have a deductible of $500. Oops, $500. That will then create a table which allow me to put the cost based on my variables. $10,000 with a $250 deductible, I can put a cost of $65. And again, add from there. So once you're done creating your table, you are going to hit save. The next tariff service we are going to add is per 100 pounds by weight. Selecting your section, so perhaps it could be storage or the transportation, you're going to decide. It's going to apply for all locations. And you're going to set a rate per 100 pounds based on a weight range. An example could be possibly a shuttle. So once you create all your different weight ranges in your base rate, once you've got that completed, you are going to hit save. The next tariff service we are going to create is called Service Base Charge. We're going to apply the section. It's going to apply for all. So this allows you to create a charge based on a previously created service. So I can create a charge based on a percentage, or I can create a matrix. So I can have it 5% of my county charge, or whatever else applies. Or I can create a matrix where you would put in the percentage on the base range. So you might put in here, you're going to enter from 1 to 100, and we want to charge 10%. You can add another line that would be from 101 to 500, and that might be a charge of 15%. So you have different ways of charging this, and once you've got your table complete, you are going to hit save. So the next few tariff services we're going to add are related to storage. So the first one is SIT cartage. Again, you're just going to select your tariff or your section. It's going to apply for all. So this is basically the same tariff service as per 100 by weight. So again, you're going to put in your your weight range and your rate per 100. Once you've got your table complete, you're going to hit save. Next tariff service that we're going to create is called SIT first day rate. You're going to apply to the section. All locations, and you are going to apply the rate for your first day of SIT. This is pretty much the same as the tariff service per 100 pounds, so you can use either one of them. Once that's complete, you can hit save. Next tariff service we're going to add is your SIT additional days rate. Applying it to this section. It's going to be for all locations, and you're going to set the rate for additional days of SIT. Once that's complete, you're going to hit save. Next tariff service is storage valuation. Selecting your section, so either you can put it under storage or valuation depending on how you would like to populate that. We're going to come down to our storage valuation. It's going to apply for all. So this service is similar to the service base rate. So if you wanted to have a certain percentage charge on a tariff service that's already been applied, you can do that. So if your storage valuation is 10% of your first day of storage, that's how you would apply that. Again, you've got a lot of options here, and once that's done, you're going to hit save. So I've got a few more tariff services to show you. The next one is per 100 pounds per quantity. apply the section. So this might possibly apply in miscellaneous if it was flight of stairs, storage, a lot of different options there. It's going to apply for all locations. So this allows you to set a rate per 100 pounds per quantity that is entered in the estimate. Flights of stairs would be a good example. So once that's completed, you're going to save. So the last tariff service that we have is a flat rate by weight. You're going to select your section. It's going to apply for all locations. So this gives you the ability to set up a weight range, and you can assign a flat rate charge to that range. You also have an option to add an additional rate per 100 that would apply for an overflow rate. So you can build your table from here, apply your overflow rate, and when that's completed, you're going to hit save. So we've entered all the different tariff service items. Again, I just want to emphasize that during the video, what I did is my service name, I made the same as my rate type, and you are going to label these based on how you would like to see them in the estimate. I recommend that you start, as you start to create your tariff, you create a new pricing. You're going to go to all in pricing. You're going to select the tariff. When you add your new pricing, you're going to select the tariff that you just created and put some data in here that the results are going to be what you're expecting. So from here, let's review how to open and edit an existing tariff. So from the blue menu bar, we're going to go to all. Again, we're going to go to tariffs. From your local tariff list, you are going to select your tariff. You are then going to come to the effective dates and select the effective date. From here, you can open all the tariff services that you have applied to the tariff. I know that this seems confusing, but just remember that you can have multiple effective dates for the same tariff. When it's time to change the rates for a tariff, you can open an effective date and go to the More and Duplicate. Hit your duplicate, and you can duplicate their effective date and the tariff services. Then all you need to do is change the effective date and go in and change the services and not have to create them all again. Okay, so that completes this video and setting up local tariffs in MoveHQ. Thank you for your time, and I hope this was helpful.